Well, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to wait here a minute because I know it takes a few minutes for folks to get on. And I'm excited about tonight. If you're watching the replay, thank you for joining me too. Tonight is day one or night one of 3 nights of training. And I love to do this training because I realize that, and you probably realize this too, is that it's what you don't know that hurts you. It's what we don't know that hurts you. Hey, hey, Gwen, good to see you. Y'all let me know as you jump on where you're watching from. It's hard with Facebook now. Like, I know there are a few people on here, but I can only see one. So I need to hear from you. So thanks for watching, and let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, if you'll post it in the comments, it will occasionally pop up. So maybe I'll be able to see them. Hey, Margie, good to see you too. Okay, so I'm going to give it a couple of minutes because I know folks, I know there are a lot of folks that have gotten the email and they're wanting to jump on, so I don't want to get started and leave them behind. If you're watching the replay, you'll just have to be patient and maybe fast forward through this part, but it's going to be fun. So I am so excited about sharing this. I'm always excited when I get the opportunity to share what has changed my life and the life of probably 2,000 other men and women that I have coached over the last 10 years. And it literally is life or death. And so I take it very seriously. I do like to have fun, but I also want you to know that I know where you've been, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. I know there's quite a few of you already jumping on, so I think I'll give it another minute and then we'll go ahead. I had chili tonight. I drove 4.5 hours from up in South Carolina. I live in South Georgia, and it's really cold down here. We're not used to this weather in the 20s. I walked onto my breezeway to come into the house, and my plant, I don't even know the end of it. It was gone. I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't a good thing to do. I brought one of them in, but the other one, I left it outside, and I forgot that it was supposed to be so cold. But anyway, such is life. That happens, right? Okay. So thank y'all for joining me again. Let me know where you're watching from, and if you have any questions as I'm going along. There is going to be a link that you should be able to see that will give you more information about what I'm going to be talking about the challenge that's coming up, actually starting this weekend. But you're here now and you're live. And so what I'm going to talk about tonight, you probably saw it in the email, is the number one reason that you can't lose weight, or that you're not able to, or that you're stuck, all right? So if you're struggling with weight loss, with cravings, with low energy, with aching joints, with sleeplessness, frailty, all of those things, that is what I want to address tonight for you, because I know the frustration of that. And there is a way to get that weight loss going, and it is really about decreasing your insulin. Now, you may not have heard that. Hey, Doris, good to see you. Thank you for joining. You may not have heard that before, that it's about your insulin. You may have thought it was about your calories, but calories it's important to know about your calories, but that's not the main thing. That's not what makes you have fat around the middle and store fat around the middle. And I want to tell you, that fat around the middle is also deep in your organs, and it's not good that it's there. It's around your kidneys, your liver, your heart. And so we want to get rid of that, don't we? We don't want to have that fat around the middle. So this whole thing about weight loss, getting stronger, all of that, is very important. And it's not magic. It is a system. So I know how frustrating frustrating it is, but it's really simpler than you think. I know Doris is on here. She's in my program, and she's lost, I think it was 27 pounds, I think it was, Doris lost. And, she said, I had been trying to lose that weight forever. So I know it's frustrating, but we're going to get to the first real issue. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about some other things, but tonight we're going to talk about the real issue, and it's not a lack of willpower. I just want to set you free right there and just tell you, but it is your insulin resistance. So I want to tell you what that is, because once you begin to know and understand and have the knowledge, then it's easier to visualize it and to work against all of that, okay? So my name is Dr. Nancy Stanley. I have a doctorate from Boston University in physical therapy, health and wellness, and leadership. And I've spent the last 15 years researching weight loss and helping men and women lose weight. I've helped over 2,000 people. I just recently helped 25 new people. Just in October, November, December was my last challenge, and we're into another challenge now, and you're going to get an opportunity to be in a challenge, okay? But you have to, by understanding the science behind weight loss, and I'm not going to give you all of it. I couldn't do that. I've spent years studying it, but there are some tips and tricks that if you know them and apply them, then you'll get results. All right. So this is a strategy and a plan that really works. Hope is not a strategy. I hope I'm going to lose weight. Well, that doesn't work, does it? No, you have to have a plan, and it has to be a plan that's tried and true and that you can do regardless. All right. So just yesterday, I got on the phone with a client, and she's like, I can't believe it. I've already lost 10 pounds. And I'm just like, well, believe it, because you're doing the right thing. You're shifting your body. So we're going to get to this in a few minutes. We're going to talk about the shift that has to happen for you to lose the weight. And so just be prepared. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But the first key to winning the battle of weight loss is you have to understand insulin resistance. Now, I'm not talking about glucose. That's the sugar that's in your blood that you get when you eat. This is insulin. And most of you know, you've got your pancreas that's, it's about, let's just say it's about that big. It looks something like that. Not too much like that, but something like that. And it's about as big as my hand here, a little bit like that. And what happens is your pancreas, unless you're a type 1 diabetic, releases insulin. And insulin is a hormone, and it is a bully hormone, okay? It's a strong hormone, and it does a lot of things in your body, and it's released by other parts of your body, but the pancreas is the main place that that insulin is going to be released. And so, as we are born and grow, our body's releasing insulin. Every time we put in food, all right, not water and not fat, but proteins and carbs, the three kinds of nutrients are proteins, which is mostly meat. You do get it in some beans and stuff. And then fat, which there's good fat and bad fat. And then carbs, which is mostly, vegetables, grains, certain vegetables have more, but it's going to be your pasta, your white things, sugars, all those are carbs, all right? So when you take in food that makes your body produce insulin, which we all do, it's going to go, your insulin level's going to rise up after you eat something, all right? And so it dumps that insulin, that pancreas dumps that insulin into the blood. And that insulin, all right, so let me show you my little cell. So this is my little cell here. I had lost my little green ball. One of the grandchildren had it, but I found it. All right. So this is the cell. Now you're like, what are those two little things on there? Well, your cells, all of your cells, this is a blood cell, okay? All right. Your cell, well, not just a red blood cell. This is a cell in your body, all right? And as that insulin is released into the bloodstream, it floats through your vessels, all right? And these are insulin receptors. Now, there are a lot of different kind of receptors on your cell, but these two happen to be insulin receptors. And they're like up there, you're like, hey, here I am, here I am. And they pull in that insulin and they open up the cell wall so the cell opens up and allows the sugar to go in, the glucose that's in your bloodstream. It goes into the inside of the cell where your mitochondria is, and that mitochondria is going to take in that glucose and it's going to turn it into energy, all right? Here's what happens after sometimes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So much carbs, eating several times a day, eating cereal for breakfast, grits, bread, sandwiches, hamburgers, French fries, pizza, all those things that have a lot of carbs in them. It causes a lot of insulin to be dumped from your pancreas into your blood vessels, all right? And over time, those little receptor cells are like, I'm tired. And so they just lay down. And guess what happens? That insulin that your pancreas has been releasing, the cell doesn't even pick it up, so it just stays in your bloodstream. That's why when you get your blood work done, if you get your hemoglobin A1C, you're checking the glucose in your blood. But if you get your insulin levels checked, you're checking the insulin. And that's what we need to know, because here's why. Insulin resistance causes metabolic dysfunction, all right? It causes changes in your blood pressure. It causes changes in your brain. It causes changes in your muscles. It causes changes in your organs. Nothing works right if you're metabolically inflexible, and we get that way because of the insulin. So you may just have had a light go on, a light bulb, and go, oh gosh, I thought it was my blood sugar. Well, it is your blood sugar, but if your insulin sensors have quit working, okay, if they have just shut off, your cells have become resistant to insulin. That's what insulin resistance is, and that's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be. That's why when you go to the doctor, your blood sugar's so high, they can't get it down because your insulin receptors are not working. And here's what else goes along with that. If you can't get that glucose into your cell, then you're tired all the time. You don't have any energy because your cells can't make the energy that you need. So what floats through the blood, those vessels, is glucose and insulin. And insulin literally has an effect on the walls of your vessels. It also has effect on your kidneys. It makes your kidneys hold salt and water, which makes your blood pressure go up. And so these are all consequences of carbs, all right? So what we do in the very beginning is we start learning about ketosis. We start learning about how and where to find those carbs and how to lower those carbs, how to get into ketosis. And here's where I want to talk to you about this. All right, so you're going to have a shift. This is a big shift. You're going to, it's almost like you're going to change out the motor in your car, all right? But you're going to change out the motor in your body. And you're going to go from being a sugar burner, okay, to being a fat burner, all right? And so when you're a sugar burner, here's how you feel. You can't quit craving sweets. You want to eat all the time. You eat one meal, and then an hour or two later, you got to have something else. You want to put chewing gum in your mouth, or you want to have a Coke, or you want to have, it's just, and the reason is your body is literally craving something because when you eat that sugar, those carbs, your blood sugar goes up, but then it drops way down, okay? And that's when you have hypoglycemia. But we want to switch you over, and it takes a few days, it does, but it can happen. You switch over to being a fat burner. That's when you start making ketones, and I'm just going to tell you, being a fat burner is like burning fat lighter for heat. You get more results from it. You get more energy. Your gut heals. You get more. Your brain works better. I mean, literally in 10 days to 2 weeks, my clients are saying, I can't believe how good I'm sleeping. I can't believe I don't need my stomach medicine. I can't believe that my energy level. I can't believe I'm not craving sugar anymore. I can't believe I'm not eating at night. So all these are things that are a result of making this switch. And why does this matter? Because until you get that insulin resistance going in the right direction, okay, in other words, lowering your insulin resistance, lowering your insulin levels in your blood, that's what's going to create a significant metabolic change, and you're going to be so excited about it and successful, okay? Now, here's what I want to tell you. I'm here to guide you through the process, and it is a process. It is a system, okay? And you may be saying, oh, I've tried all that. I've done all that before. It just didn't work. Well, I hear you. But what if I told you that it's not the drastic changes that you make, but the slow integration with a daily plan and a system and a support group that helps you make these changes? That's what happens. And any of my clients that are on here tonight would tell you that, okay? All right, so what you have to do is you have to believe you can, and I believe you can, and you have to change your story. So your story may be something like this. Well, I've tried it all. I'm just a sugar addict. I can't help myself. I don't think I'll ever be able to quit with the sugar or the chocolate or the late night snacks or whatever. What's another story I hear? This little bit won't hurt. This little bit won't hurt. Or you going along pretty good and then you have a birthday party or a holiday or whatever. Well, my clients that just did my challenge, they lost weight through Thanksgiving and Christmas. And the reason they did was because they had a new story, they had a daily coach, that would be me, and they had a daily support group. So I want to encourage you that, you know, when you get that insulin dropping down, it clears out the toxins. And that's a big step toward lowering your blood pressure. If you're on diabetes medicine, coming off of those medicines, coming off of your pain medication, because so many times your joints have those toxins in them. I've had really every one of my clients say, I can't believe my joints feel so much better. I was headed toward a knee replacement and I was able to avoid that now that I've done the right thing. So this isn't just a starvation diet. It isn't that at all. It's a way to move forward and become a healthy person. All the people in my groups now, they're healthy people, and healthy people do healthy things. Healthy people have healthy food in their refrigerator, in their cabinets. They don't have junk food. They don't. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have an occasional treat, but not on the regular. You can't have it on the regular because you're not going to get the results that you want, okay? So let me see. Have I covered everything? I got a few little notes over there. The first thing we're going to decide is why would you do this? And just losing weight is not a deep enough why. So we'll work on that why. We'll get that why down deep so that it helps you. It gets you off the couch. It gets you into my workout sessions. It gets you the confidence that you will have to move forward. Okay, So here's what I want to tell you. Tomorrow night, same time, 8:30, I'm going to be taking the next step. We're going to be talking about accountability. We're going to be talking a little bit more about insulin resistance. We're going to be talking about, why this is possible for you. And, I'm going to be talking about some of the objections that people have. Like, well, I don't eat meat, or I don't eat this, or all of the objections that people have, why they can't do it. And I want to address those things because they're real. They're real to you. But once you address those with the possibility of what can happen is when we'll move forward together, okay? So join me tomorrow night. If you have a question, I don't see any questions so far, but like I said, I can't see everybody. I know there are about 40 of you on here watching, and I appreciate you watching, but put in the comments where you're watching from. So here's what I would encourage you. Here's a piece of information, just a little tidbit that'll help you. One easy way, this is an easy way to bring your insulin levels down is to walk after a meal. So just get up and walk after you eat your meal. Go for a 10-minute walk, especially in this cold weather. You're gonna be burning up some calories for sure. But so just think about that. Is that something that you could add to your routine? Is walking after you eat. And there's some more tips I'm going to share along the way, but the main thing I wanted you to know tonight is let's make this shift toward being a fat burner and watch that weight just fall off. You're gonna be excited about that, okay? So there's a link that is a video with more information about the challenge and how it works. But honestly, right now, I just want you to get this information about what changes are going to happen in your body. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night.